we're kind of in an intersection here. It's the just right geology with many different communities coming and going and persisting out on the Oak Opening Sand Ridge.
From a geologic perspective, it's a fairly unique landform. It provides a little more relief in the area, topographic relief. It's really at the surface a collection of sand dunes. And with the sand dunes there, we have different topography, we have different soils. As a result, we get different plants. So when you try to understand the distribution of plants in the area, part of that is explainable by the superficial geology, in this case the Oak Opening sand dunes, well-drained soils, and poorly drained soils in low areas. And geologically it's interesting because it's a former shoreline of a glacial lake that was here during the last deglaciation. And the age of the Oak Openings, the actual shoreline part, is about 14,000 years old. During the last deglaciation, when the glaciers were retreating from Cincinnati back up towards Hudson Bay, as the ice backed into the Lake Erie Basin, it dammed up the Niagara River where the Niagara Falls are. And so there was a lake that built up at an elevation above Lake Erie today. And there are shorelines, sort of like bathtub rings, around the Lake Erie Basin. And one of those bathtub rings, the shoreline, is called the Warren Beach. And the Oak Openings region is one of the Warren Beach shorelines that wrap all around the Lake Erie Basin.
Oak Openings is a mosaic of sandy areas and wetland, low-lying wetlands. So you have the vernal pools in low-lying areas that are important habitat. You have the wet prairies like Irwin Prairie. Linear habitat that's very important for fish and for mussels, and very important for amphibians and some reptiles like turtles, for example. So not much is known about wetlands, but there's a real diversity of wetlands.
If you drive far north up by Lake Superior, you'll see a northern plant community, a boreal association with things like cedars, but we don't have cedars here, but we have a lot of the small plants that live underneath the cedars that have left here. And then we also had prairie come through here during a certain period of time, and that left a large part of the plant community that we have, plus the animals that live within that plant community. And then as things cooled down in more recent times, there's been an invasion of plants and animals from the Appalachians.